Oh, I thought this was kind of classy too. So 343 is the company that took over Halo from Bungie, and they gave us this nice little thank you message. Another company that did that is the company that released Tomb Raider. What's the name of that developer? It's driving me nuts now.
Crystal Dynamics?
No, Crystal Dynamics was the old company. I can't remember. Well, anyway, they also put a little thank you message at the end. I like that. I think it's pretty classy.
Ubisoft?
Okay, so no, I don't think so. Anyway, so let's talk about this plot.
Alrighty.
Here's what I don't like about the story of this game. Oh man, it's a laundry list. I don't like how they got oh shoot, what's the name of the professor who creates the Master Chief?
Halsey.
Halsey.
Whatever.
Halsey. Okay, so Halsey, in all of previous Halo, she was a very controversial character who broke the law and literally kidnapped children to make the Spartan program and yada yada. With the, the end populates the mean, yada yada stuff. The children that she kidnapped, she replaced with clones who all died within a couple years. Right? It's the worst, most horrible morality thing. But all the Spartans end up saving Earth, so it's kind of like, it's a complicated situation. This game makes all of that pointless because now, according to the librarian's dialogue, which makes no sense, all of what she did was preordained thousands of years ago. Like,
not her
somehow
directly.
pre-programmed in the genetics was that they would create a Master Chief and a Cortana. Go figure.
I see, and
bugs
on the
me
flip
so
side, I don't necessarily think they directly imply that, and they don't imply that the means by which she goes about doing it are, preordained. They just assume that at some point in the history of mankind, they're going to want for more power, and this is how they're going to go about doing it, by somehow improving humans and creating some kind of super soldier. The AI part, I agree, is a little wacky, but, whatever.
Let's go into why Master Chief was this result of 10,000 years of pre-programming. Because he was the only life form able to open the cage that the Didact was trapped in. Here's another huge plot hole.
That's not true. It was any human. No, it was any human. Technically.
Okay, that's not going to change what I'm about to say. Why do you have a lock to his cage that any idiot of a population of billions of humans can open?
No, I totally agree with that.
Why don't you just
I think
recode
that's
the
probably...
DNA lock to be some mutant animal that never existed, and then, oh look, the Didact's gone for good, the whole plot doesn't happen.
No, this is just stupid entirely. It's like, why would they even put him in a prison that can be opened? Here's a better question. Why not just hurtle him into the sun? He's not Superman. He's not going to survive that.
This plot is like so many badly written plots where the actual plot, when you think about it, is actually a person creates a problem and then they slowly solve the problem they created in the first place. I hate those plots.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like, it's an excuse for a story, basically. Like, everything in the story is a plot device of some kind that shouldn't necessarily exist in the natural world. They just insert it to further the plot.
Which is fine, it's just in this case, it's so freaking blatant.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to a certain extent, I can kind of give them a pass on some of it, but I agree. The single biggest flaw in this entire story is the fact that why the hell would you ever make a cage that could be opened by some random dude?
Yeah. Now, can I switch gears here and talk about what I thought was going to happen when I played this game the first time, about a third of the way through? I came up with my whole resolution of the plot, which I thought was stupid, but actually I think is better than the actual resolution they came up with.
I don't even know if I recall what mine was, so yeah, go ahead with yours.
Okay, well, here's what happens. After they established... Okay, so they established the Didact. They established that Cortana's made from DNA, which makes no sense. But they established that the Didact has a machine that can suck in a person, their entire computer personality, and turn them into a digital being. And then the digital beings can be regenerated as physical objects, right? Here's what I was sure was going to happen.
To inhabit other physical objects, I think. But yeah.
Yeah. Here's what I was sure was going to happen. I thought the plot was going to be, instead of just defeating the Didact, I thought the plot was going to be you release all of the various humans he has trapped in his computer system. So, for instance, like they say that, you know, the people who come back as the digital knights, their brains aren't right. Like they're completely demented and all they can do is attack you. I figured that the plot line would be you figure out how to fix that flaw, and then you can actually go into the Didact system at the end and resurrect all of the people who the Didact killed like 10,000 years ago, all the proto-humans and people of the Didact's own species or whatever. And
that would have been
here's how I thought they were going to resolve Cortana. I thought Cortana, since she is a digital life form, was going to get resurrected at the same time, and then the happy ending would be... Yeah, because she has the Halsey DNA. She'd be like a younger version, or Halsey or whatever.
See,
She'd be like a younger version of Halsey because it would regenerate her body from the DNA and then copy her mind from the computer. I was sure they were going to go that way, and they didn't.
That would have been a good call, I think, at least with the Cortana thing. As far as resurrecting the ancient humans, probably, I mean, that would have been a good setup for like Halo 5, possibly, right? They do that accidentally because they imply that the future humans are very warlike, you know?
Well, and the other thing they imply is that I think the digitizer screws up their brain when it records them in the first place, not when they get spit back out.
Quite
so
possibly.
I'm guessing that everyone's been digitized is the canonical method is everyone who's been digitized is just gone. Like they're already screwed up when they're in the computer. It's too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think the writers thought of that because they were like, oh, well, you can't bring them back because they're already screwed up by the time they're digitized. But anyway, that would have been an alternate way of doing the plot that I think in some ways would have been better and in some ways would have been worse. It would have resolved Cortana in a more sensical way. Like, it would have removed that whole Lightbridge nuke thing, which made no sense.
Well,
right?
probably.
Of course, the whole ending would be totally different.
They didn't need to necessarily do them independently, though, you know? I mean, they could have done both of them. I think the one good thing, though, you have to admit that if you were very heavily emotionally invested into the series, you know, you read a lot of the books and whatnot, and you were able to overlook the plot holes, the ending was fairly well done from like an emotional investment standpoint. Like the voice acting was good, the delivery was just good all around. So, you know, I don't know, maybe it had more emotional impact the way it was, I guess.
Yeah, but in some ways I think they've actually simplified the Halo universe and removed future plot points that they could have done.
True.
And it's frustrating to me because it's like now everything that happens in literally the last 10,000 years can be explained by the librarian made it happen because she was pre-planning all of this.
There's
no free will. Sorry.
I don't think that's what they were implying. Maybe that's how it could be read that way. I think it's just she was implying that it was an inevitability of some kind.
We taste only.
Yeah, but what would have happened if we unlocked the Didact 1,000 years before Cortana was built?
We are forerunners.
Anyway.
Guardians of all that exists. Oh. The roots of the galaxy have grown deep under our careful tending. Where there is life, the wisdom of our countless generations has
so this is future, I don't know, Salt Lake City or Phoenix? Wherever that beam landed.
Towards which all
it's somewhere in the desert. It's like New something.
Shelter. Beneath
New Yuma or something? I don't remember exactly.
Hey, there's tricorders in the Halo universe.
I stand before you, accused of the sin of ensuring Forerunner ascendance.
This, I guess, is what the Didact said is defense trial.
To save us
yeah, before they imprisoned him.
Where we are forced to recede. Humanity stands as the greatest threat in the galaxy.
You know what I was just thinking? The plot line I just outlined that they didn't go with, but they could have. They could have made Halo 5 as you fighting the 10,000 years ago humans. Since you're right, they were really warlike, and the whole reason this whole started is because they're the ones that attacked the Librarian and Didact race in the first place.
True. However, they do explain that too. Like, if you recall, their whole reason for that is not necessarily because they really wanted to. They were running from the flood at that point.
Oh, here comes the fake out. Is Master Chief going to remove his helmet? Here comes the fake out. Is he? Is he? Is he?
Nope.
Sorry.
Of course not. Of course not.
You know what they need is they need the reveal like in The Watchmen, where when they reveal what Oh, what's the name of the guy with the mask that always changes?
Oh
man. I had something clever to say in my memory problems.
Rorschach.
When they reveal his face and he's kind of like this really geeky, or not pimply, but it's geeky guy with freckles. I mean, he looks like a really gangly kind of teenager with freckles. When they finally reveal his face, it's like totally not at all what you expect him to look at. They should do that with Master Chief too.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, that's Halo 4. What do you think? Did 343 Productions do a pretty good job taking over from the Halo 3?
They certainly didn't do a bad
ODST
job,
story?
and the one thing I will say, even though the story is very contrived and it's got lots of needless plot devices, the actual gameplay, like the core gameplay and the sound and the ambiance and the actual graphics and pretty much everything else other than the story is pretty top-notch, you have to admit.
No.
No.
Remember the level with the ghosts?
Well, okay.
That wasn't top-notch.
Okay, so here's the thing. You're right. I agree that needed more testing in co-op. In single player, it's fine. In co-op, it was hilarious to watch you die repetitively.
I had troubles with it in single player too, but yeah, and it's kind of funny because like the part in the end of the game where it turns into Star Fox, and yes, I'm going to just keep saying Star Fox. It was actually kind of a refreshing change of pace. It would have been interesting if they did something like that a lot earlier, kind of to prepare you for it, instead of just kind of, I don't know. You know me, I have kind of a beef about games that and it wasn't even the very last thing in the game, so I guess I shouldn't really complain about it. I have a beef about games that introduce new game mechanics like on literally the last level, and it's like, here's the last level, learn this brand new thing, and it kind of felt like that, because it's like, learn these controls you've never used before, game's almost over, you know? It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe that's an unfair complaint.
I don't know. It wasn't, like, crazy bad, I guess. Like, I didn't feel too horribly interjected, but I know what you mean. Like,
I'll be 100% frank. I think that swordfish level should be its own game. Those are called swordfish, right?
I have no idea what they're called.
Whatever the fighters are called. They should be their own game. It should have been like an unlockable game. And now that I've unlocked the story, I should be able to play this game, which is kind of like Star Fox. It's on the same disc. That would have been cool. Just build like 6 more levels, you know? Anyway.
That would have actually been kind of entertaining.
Yeah, that would have been very cool. Anyway, I guess that's about it, right? Anything else you'd like to say? Any last notes?
No, I think that's pretty much it. So thanks for joining us on this probably the single longest game we've played to date, co-op. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.
Fun stuff.